Hey guys, good morning. This is Vic. A very good morning to you all. I'm out here on my Sunday morning hike, and today's discussion I wanted to have with you all is how do you develop the right mindset for your career success? There are lots of ways to go about your career, and there's not a one right answer to this because honestly, everyone has different aspirations, and you might just be comfortable in a bare level position and working maybe 9 to 5 or even less. Maybe you are one of those who wants a 4-hour work week, or you don't want to work at all and you're seeking financial freedom. That's totally fine too. So that really depends on what your goals are. But regardless of your goals, it's important that the mindset is tuned in the right frequency to whatever goal that you might have in mind. So if you're someone with a big mission, you have big goals, there's only one real mindset that will work in your favor, and that's called the growth mindset. And this is the mindset that every successful person on this planet has mastered. They have figured out how to tune their frequency to the right mindset, and that is what leads them to the massive success that you may have heard of from that individual. What is this growth mindset that I'm talking about today? So the growth mindset is really simple. It just means that you have a very simple belief that your skills can be developed, your intelligence can be developed. You are not a individual that will stay stagnant to whatever you have as of today. So you are looking to continuously improve yourself in many different directions, many different dimensions, and that is really what comprises the growth mindset. The fixed mindset is the opposite of the growth mindset, and what this really talks about is people who are kind of anchored to the current position. So you all know what an anchor is, right? So when you have a ship that sails out into the sea but decides to maybe park itself for some time, maybe in the midst of the ocean for various reasons, it sets down the anchor, and that anchor keeps the ship in the current spot regardless of whatever else is going on around it. So that is the mindset of someone who has a fixed mindset. And such a mindset is, again, not a bad mindset. It's just that a lot of people have this mindset for good or bad reasons. And what this does to you is you will end up in a situation where you don't grow much at all in your life, in your career, in anything else that you're seeking in your personal life as well. So and that's a good point to actually talk about. The growth mindset is not just about your career. And by the way, you can see the beautiful sunrise just happening behind me. So one of the key characteristics of those who are growth mindset individuals is they set stretch goals for themselves, whatever that might be. So for example, if you are not a morning person, having a stretch mindset where you wake up every day at 5 a.m. and maybe also go out on a early morning activity like I'm doing right now, that could be a stretch goal for you. While I have been a morning person for the most part, doing extensive activities in the morning is a stretch goal for me. So the stretch goal is something that will get you started in terms of your growth mindset, right? So what are some of the techniques that you should think through while you're trying to develop this growth mindset? The first one, I would call it the 5G model for following your path to a growth mindset. And no, I'm not talking about your phone network 5G. I'm not asking you to get a phone that has a 5G network connection. That would be too easy, right? These are different 5Gs, and we'll talk about them one by one. So the first G that I'm going to talk about today is it's called the get real. That's your first G. Okay, what does that mean? The first G is really about making sure you have a expectation setting and a reality check with yourself, because the biggest challenge that I see with a lot of individuals is they live in a bit of a fantasy world, right? And that can trip you off quite a bit. And if you're not clear on what is the reality for you today, then it's likely that you will never really be able to fix your mindset to where it needs to be, because you will have to understand what are some areas in your life that really need tweaking, right? So if you start with a mindset, I'm doing great in all these dimensions and I'm just a perfect individual, it's really a bad way to get started. So do an honest evaluation of where you are today. What are some things in your life that you really need to address, right? So let's start with maybe you need a higher source of income. I want to be very cognizant of the fact that income is not equal to a job, and it may be for some individuals, and that's perfectly fine. But let's say that your area is that you want to increase your sources of income, and that could be that you want a better job. It could mean that you want to grow your individual business. Maybe you want multiple streams of income, whatever that is, right? If you don't start with acknowledging the fact that there is a problem in your current life where maybe your income is nowhere close to what the benchmark is for someone of your career level or your experience level, you're never going to really even think about growing further in that dimension. So the first G is really about developing a good sense of what your current situation is. So that's what I'm calling as get real. It's very, very important as a first step to start with this. So get real, get a reality check, set your expectations right. Once you have done this, set the next G, which is set goals. And this is super important as well for you, for your life. As I said, start with a reality check. Where are you today? What are you trying to accomplish? And what are some of the areas that you need to fix in your life, right? So the next G here is about getting crystal clarity on what is your set of goals in multiple areas. So if your dimensions that you have identified as part of the self-discovery process and the get real step is that you need more income, maybe you need better health, whatever those are, you need to have very specific measurable goals that you can set for yourself and start with defining a path towards them. You need specific metrics that you will use to measure your progress on these goals, as well as you will need to identify timelines that you can use to hold yourself accountable in terms of accomplishing these goals. So for example, if you're trying to lose weight and you say, well, my goal is to lose a set of 10 kgs or 20 pounds, whatever that might be, then you need to start by defining by when are you going to accomplish that weight loss. And next thing is by when are you going to accomplish the first milestone. So this is where I see a lot of people trip on their goals is a lot of people know this now that you have to set goals. So yeah, it's not anything new, but where people do trip is that they don't actually think through how they're going to define the milestones towards that, right? So my ask is to you to think through not just the goal, but break that goal up into milestones. Think through how you're going to actually accomplish various milestones in this process so that you can actually establish some progress towards the goals. Okay. So that's the key ask in terms of setting goals. That's your second G. And just bear with me for a second as I need to navigate some tricky pathways here. Hey guys, sorry about that. So as I was talking about tripping, funnily enough, I tripped on my own goal here, which is to get through this hike without any incidents, but I unfortunately did trip. It was a small trip, not a big deal. And that's the other thing to keep in mind, is whenever you're trying to accomplish anything big, expect that you'll trip once in a while, right? It's not uncommon, and don't be disheartened by that. Okay, so we talked about 2Gs, and the next one that I wanted to share is get in touch is your next G. Like I said, you need to have a clear sense of where you're going and get real in terms of what you're trying to accomplish, get your goals straightened out, get your milestones all marked out. And then the next thing I would highly recommend is get in touch with other individuals who have accomplished some similar types of goals that you are looking to accomplish. So let's say that you are trying to be a master tennis player. What I would recommend is join a group of other tennis players who have achieved maybe one level up, right? That's how you learn the game. Same thing in your career, in your life. Always look for maybe 1 or 2 levels above the accomplishments that you're trying to reach, and find mentors. These are the people who will change your life. See who can help maybe guide you in the right direction and point you towards the key tasks that you should be focused on, so that you don't get distracted and then get derailed from accomplishing your goals. So that's your third G. Sorry, that's your third G in terms of making things happen in the right direction. So again, that's get in touch with people who have accomplished the kind of goals that you're looking to accomplish. The next one here is what I would call as give the right vibes to yourself. So this is quite tricky, but also super important. Giving the right vibes means that you are adopting a mindset where you're telling your mind, no, you are capable of doing this. Yes, you have already accomplished it. Everyone like you has done this before. That is kind of conditioning your mind to ensure that you can accomplish the goals that you have in mind, and remove all negative thoughts. It's really easy to give up. And that's really the last G that I want to talk about, is to keep grinding. You will never ever reach your goal if you are not grinding. So whatever you're trying to accomplish, make sure you are always grinding and never give up. Okay, so that's the last one, and I hope this has been helpful. And if there are any other questions, I'm happy to answer them in the comments. So have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon.